I just had an idea.
We've all been there. I definitely have been there for sure. You have a GoPro, you look at what you want to take a shot of, you put it in position, you take that shot, and the next thing you know, your footage really comes out worse than you ever thought that you ever can make before. That used to be me a long time ago. However, I changed that with a few techniques with shooting with the GoPro. And this is what it's going to be for you guys when I show you how to shoot with the GoPro, just like the GoPro photos themselves. Hi, what's going on guys? This is Taisky with Vlogs with Taisky is my channel. If you guys are new to this channel, I am a content creator that wants to be a full-time YouTuber along with a full-time videographer within the industry. Today I felt like would have been the best time for me to talk about how to get good GoPro footage, whether if it's photo or even video. But I do want to break into major details here when it comes for photos, so I might just save the videos for another time. Now, with all the GoPros currently out, I'm just going to specify one GoPro that's going to give a good start. Here I have is the GoPro 6. Now, if you're watching this video, you might be looking into getting a GoPro, or you might just already have a GoPro and looking to enhance your photos. Even if I am talking about the 6, you probably might even have the 7, or even possibly the 8. But the good thing on why I'm talking about the 6 is that all of the settings that I'm going to talk about are also going to go with the 7 and the 8. Okay, let's get started. Alrighty, so when we're talking about photos, you're probably curious about how much megapixels does it have. If you're not too familiar, megapixels are just the pixelation within one sensor of a camera that can capture information and data within the photo that you're taking. The GoPro 6 starts off with a 12 megapixels, producing with a 4/3 aspect ratio, which converts to 4000 x 3000 into pixels. As for its format, it either shoots in JPEG or shoots in RAW. And if you're not too familiar, JPEG is just a standard shooting of a picture. RAW actually holds a lot more data for you to color correct and do more coloring in post when it comes for post-production. The GoPro 6 is also capable of shooting in HDR, standing for High Dynamic Range. Pretty much what High Dynamic Range allows you to do is you're capable of seeing color tones within the far length reach of a photo, or in a video if that's the case. Breaking down a little bit more into details of what that really is, if you can see color in front of you, it shines nice. However, sometimes color can fade out the further something is. So with high dynamic range, it can capture that light a lot more cleaner. Not other than just that, but it takes 3 pictures considering that one photo is going to be underexposed, second photo is going to be perfectly exposed, the third photo is going to be overexposed. Putting all that together can make an HDR, which makes your shadows to be viewable, midtones not to be over pushed, and highlights to be just the perfect amount before it can get way too overblown. Put all of that together and that's recreating the HDR, or high dynamic range. Now within our phones or even our cameras, you would see that most of that stuff has zoom, and you definitely can zoom. Did you know that the GoPro 6, 7, and 8 can also zoom too? Yeah, it's a feature that not a lot of people use. For me, I don't find it beneficial for me, but there has been times that I have used it and it's kind of come in handy. Now I do want you to keep in mind that when you do zoom, you're losing just a little bit of data when you do so be aware and cautious how you're using your zoom. Let me specifically say about the zoom, It is not an optical zoom, it is a digital zoom. A digital zoom is going to be when your camera zooms within the camera itself, therefore the camera's not moving forward, it's just doing the digital for you. Optical zooming, which most of our high-end cameras do, is when you see the telescope actually squeeze out and can show and projected images a lot cleaner and at further distance. Okay, let's talk about field of view. So what that is in a GoPro, it just pretty much gives you the example of what you can use as your field of view on seeing the foreground or just what's in front of you in general. Breaking down more into details, you have 3 different field of views. You can shoot into linear, which is the most flat profile that you're probably used to, considering that your phone does that. You can go into wide, which is nearly like a fisheye, but not being too much of a fisheye, let's say half of a fisheye, and it does give you a wider version of what you can see around you. The last one, which will be super view, is the same thing as wide, except that it's going to be super wide, if anything, which is capable of capturing a lot of data and bestly used when you're using in 4K. Burst mode. Yes, one of my favorites to use. Now, the burst mode. What is that capable of doing? Well, this is a really good one and I use this one a lot. Burst mode is able to capture the footage of what you're using within quick snap seconds. And depending on the settings that you're using, you could, let's say for example, jump in the air and have the photo take your picture and you'll come out crisp and clear without having any like digital blur or just any blur in general or any of that stuff, etc. Using burst is usually best when you're doing something with action. Rather, if that thing is moving fast, your subject is moving fast, or you're just going fast enough when you want to capture something to be still, but you want it to be a good quality, I would recommend using the burst. When it comes to the ISO range, it shoots roughly up to about 3200 ISO. Now, let me break this down even more. Because the GoPro has a smaller sensor than any other camera that our phones have, or even like normal DSLRs or mirrorless cameras have, you definitely want to be careful how you use your ISO. Considering the more ISO that you bump up, the more grain that you get within your footage. And if you get to that point, then sometimes it's really hard to come back from. Now, yes, I know there's programs that you can use to denoise your footage, but even that has a limit to do. So you want to be careful and cautious on how you do stuff like that. Now that's just the specs about the GoPro, specifically the 6 that I have, considering the 7 and 8s are slightly different, but that's to give you an idea on how to maneuver all of this when it comes for the settings. However, the best one to talk about is going to be the ProTunes settings. On your GoPro, you're going to either have the GoPro settings or the ProTunes settings. ProTune just allows you to adjust everything in camera within your liking. That goes for the megapixels, shooting in RAW or JPEG, your shutter speed, exposure comp, ISO mini to ISO max, white balance, sharpness, and color, just to specify everything that you need within the ProTunes. Now, I definitely do understand, so don't get me wrong. Having a GoPro and trying to shoot your photos just to be very similar to like the pro filmers out there or the pro photographers that are using GoPros, like GoPro page themselves, it can be very intimidating. But however, I don't want you to tie yourself into comparing yourself with them. Just go outside and try taking some photos. And as easy as that for me to say, that might just be hard for you to do. So here's some shots that I can recommend trying when trying some GoPro shots. Now you want to keep in mind that GoPro is a very small camera and you can use that as an advantage to shoot in small, tight locations. Rather, if that's going to be inside of a drawer, in the kitchen, or even in the bathroom. Maybe you want to shoot something in your fridge. You could use it on the dashboard of your car. Have you ever tried using grass as a foreground for your picture? Try that with the GoPro. Taking a shot of a branch or a tree, or even from the tree, you can get some interesting angles. So maybe you're short just like me. You want to look taller in your photos? Go ahead and set that down and place it right on the ground so you can get a higher shot. Doesn't have to be too low, it can be just at the middle. You can find some good compositions off of that. There's tons and tons of different ways on how to shoot with your GoPro, and honestly, I don't even tell you how to start to begin. However, what I do want to tell you is your imagination is very limitless. So to get you started, why not try shooting in locations that you normally don't see happening? Just like all the ones that I mentioned. But let me specify this one last time. Because the sensor of the camera is very, very small, don't expect that shooting in low light is going to be perfect. Every shot will be best when there's enough light around. Again, ISO can really bump up the light into your shots. However, you want to be careful how you use it. Me personally, I don't like to go over 800 on my ISO because that's when grain is added. I try to limit myself to not go any more higher than 400, but if needed, 800 is my limit that I would personally do. If you guys did make it this far into the video, I would definitely appreciate a like, and if you'd like to subscribe just to see more content like this, that'd be most helpful. I am taking the time to put in this work and I'd like to teach people, so this is the best opportunity. Anyways, this is just to give you an understanding on how to better your photography in GoPro shots. However, I will be making another part 2 video of this to break more things down to details. I figured this would just be the best way to get you started and have a better understanding, so that way you're just not bored out of your mind hearing something that's too much information. You start off with this video first, get an understanding, then we'll go to the second video when it's released, and you'll have more of a comfortability of like, I've heard that before, now I can work with the second one. Now before I go, I do want to mention my sponsor, which is no one. I'm not sponsored by anybody. But that's okay, because if you do like the intro and the outro of this music, I want you to check out Jay Illa. He's an incredible beat maker with the hip hop culture, b-boy style, very skilled on his sets, and the intro that you heard, the outro that you're about to hear, is made by him. So go ahead and check him out on his Instagram, titled right below, along with the link in the description. And if you're looking for customized music, just like how you just heard, go ahead and hit him up. He'll definitely want to do business with you. Anyways, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please consider that subscribe button. That would definitely help me and my channel out a lot, just to make more content for you guys. You can follow me on my Instagram for my photography, Taisky_Ty, and for my videography, Lion_production, spelled with 2 N's. Anyways, I'm gonna go. That's it. I hope that you guys learned something new from here, and if not something new, maybe something to refresh your mind when it comes for photography with the GoPro. And I hope that I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.